Hey everybody, this is JDGaming. I finally got my Hero Strike Structure Deck box in for you guys, so I'm going to open that for you. And as a special gift, because of the Secret Forces and like all this other stuff that I ordered from them all at once, I got these 3 Battle Pack Epic Dawns for you guys as well. So I'm going to open those on camera and see what awesome stuff we can pull. I'd been looking to get more of this set because, you know, it has some really awesome stuff in it, like Regeki and Snatch Steel in here, you know, tour guide's pretty cool, all the cover cards obviously. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and open these up for you guys first. We'll push that back just a little bit and let these take center stage. So while I'm doing this, quick explanation in case you haven't seen my most recent videos. Basically, the reason that this box came so late is because I accidentally lumped it together with the Secret Forces in a pre-order, so when the 30th came and this deck was supposed to be released, the Secret Forces wasn't released, so they decided, well, unless I pay more shipping, I wouldn't get it, which is, I guess, a mistake on my part, but it has been fixed. So we have Blastsphere, Backup Warrior, Windstorm of Edequa is our Starfoil, Rare Cyberjar, and Snowman Eater, so interesting pack. Especially the 3 in the back are pretty interesting cards. So we'll put Starfoil, and we'll put Rare. Pack 2. We got a Dekoichi, or Dekoichi, whichever you like to say. An Insect Knight, so pretty good. Heavy Storm, Granosaurus, and Power Frame. So unfortunately, we have Heavy Storm is forbidden, of course, but some of these commons are okay, I guess. And let's see, last pack. Let's see if we can pull something really awesome. Big Shield Gardener, I didn't even know he was in this set. Chiron the Mage, Yaksha, Starfoil. A Superconductor Tyranno that was kind of stuck here. I don't know if you noticed that, but it felt really sticky. There's like a little dab of glue. You can see there's like that dark thing, and the T is kind of cut off, but we did pull a Forbidden Lance, and considering this is completely free, I think that is awesome. We have those, and then Yaksha here. So that's just a mini opening for you guys, bonus packs that were sent in here with this box. And now we're going to go ahead and open up one of these boxes for you guys on camera. So just to show you guys what the sealed boxes look like, in case you don't see them in your stores or anything. I know you have to go to like a hobby shop most of the time to see this, but basically you have, let's see if we get this right, we have Contrast Hero Chaos, Master Hero Darklaw, Master Hero Divine Wind, literally kamikaze in Japanese, because that's what it means. And then I forget, I think this is, I know it's the light one, I don't know its name, so I'm not going to guess. We'll see it in a bit. Entire deck list is here. Yeah, it's that guy here. We have Voltic, Neos on the back, Mats, and the other side's exactly the same. Top is the same, and bottom is completely blank. Alright, so we're going to get this open. There, so there's our box. I'm going to open one of these on camera for you guys, and then you can see the contents, and then the rest are basically all going to be up for sale. All these are up for sale, essentially, except for this one that I'm obviously opening. So, yeah, we're going to go through this deck box. So, once I get this open, I'm going to explain what the selling things will be like. I can't really get it without destroying this. There we go. Alright, so we have this. We have the sealed deck. We have tips and strategies, so let's see what they have this time. More advertisements. They have Shadalls in case you like using fusions. All their products. So they want us to use Hero Lives to special summon Shadow Mist to go Mass Change or Mass Change 2 or second. And then let's see, E-Call, add that to the hand, banish stuff, and then get Voltic into this guy. And then Fusion Summon. So that's what they want us to do, but realistically, Masked Heroes seem more just to be focused on their own strategy rather than Fusion Summoning. But anyway, we have our rulebook version 9.0. We have our paper mat, which looks pretty cool. So this is the right side, and the left. So very neat. And so this is basically what's going to happen with the selling. So these are not that big, and I can easily put them into a bubble mailer for you guys, just like this one right here. So like you could see, I can fit a few of these into a bubble mailer. And I have slightly larger ones as well if you want multiple. So basically what's going to happen is, if you want decks, I will be selling these types of sealed decks in the plastic wrap. And if you want, I can include like a mat, up to one mat for each deck, I guess. And it'd basically be 10 if you want one, 19 if you want two, so you save $1, and if you get 3 a playset, you get it all for $27. But this is only for the next few days until you must order by Wednesday the 11th at midnight. After that, I will not be taking any more orders, and that Thursday, a friend and I are going to go to our local post office. It's not in walking distance, so I'm actually going to be driven there, and I'm going to be able to send all that stuff to you for a lot cheaper than UPS, and that's how I'm going to be able to get rid of these things for you guys. But yeah, basically, if you want decks like this for fairly cheap, 27 for a set of 3, do let me know, but let me know quickly. And then I'll get them to you guys. If you want an actual sealed deck, that's going to be more expensive, and we're going to have to discuss that depending on where you are. I'm going to have to contact UPS and everything and ask about that. So, just let me know if you are interested. But anyway, enough chit-chat. We're going to go ahead and open this first one. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and read off the cards first, and then I'll go over some of the new cards at the end in case you haven't seen them yet. So, first we have Contract Hero Chaos, the new boss monster. A few masked heroes in Koga for Light. I knew it was something, I thought it was Koga, but then I thought of Goka, the fire one, and I got confused because they're an anagrams of each other, but nonetheless, we do have Koga, Master Divine Wind, Kamikaze right there, Shadow Mist, and Dark Law. So we get 5 super rares in this deck, which is really, really cool. And then for the actual deck, we have Elemental Hero Ocean, Woodsman, too bad no Terra Firma, Voltic for Gate Heroes, Heat, Avian, Elemental Hero Neos, Neos Alias, Blade Edge, Necroshade, and Wildheart, Bubble Man, of course. And then some, tech cards here. We have Grand Mole, Honest, Card Trooper, Winged Karibo, Summoner Monk, and Homunculus the Alchemic Being. Thing's never been really used in Heroes, but I guess you could say nowadays, we do have all the Omni Heroes, so in a sense, it could be used if you really wanted. Kind of a random pick, though. Let's see, so we have Mask Change 2nd or 2, a new card. Form Change, Mask Charge. All 3 look really interesting with their artwork. Then we have Mask Change, Polymerization, Miracle Fusion, Parallel World Fusion. So basically, all the ways you can summon from your extra deck right here. A Hero Lives, a really well-welcomed, well-received reprint here. Hero Mask, Prisma and Spell Form. All 4 HERO for Hero Flash, but no Hero Flash itself, because that card, I guess, is just too terrible for this set. We have Reinforcement of the Army, Warrior Returning Alive, Pot of Duality, another great reprint. Hero Signal, Hero Blast, Call of the Haunted, a bunch of staples. Well, I guess these are the staples here. So we have Bottomless and Compulse. And then we have Battle Guard Howling, which is from Duelist Alliance, but it's a pretty good common, so do check it out if you haven't looked at it yet. And a common Great Tornado, because I guess they just decided let's reprint it in this set. Alright, so it's time to go over the new cards. First we have Contrast Hero Chaos. This thing is a level 8 monster with 3000 attack, so it is the boss monster for the new Masked Hero deck. It requires 2 Masked Hero monsters to summon, but it's always treated as an Elemental Hero card itself. It must be fusion summoned and cannot be summoned by other ways. And while it's face up on the field, it's also a light attribute, so in addition to its dark, it's kind of like Light and Darkness Dragon in that sense. Once per turn, during either player's turn, you can target a face-up card on the field of any kind and negate its effects until the end of the turn. So it has a very good ability and very nice 3000 body. Problem is, of course, are you really going to give up something like your Master Hero Dark Law in order to bring this guy out? Very cool card, though, for, I guess, casual play, and maybe someone will eventually come up with some crazy combo that ends up making Contrast Hero Chaos worth it. Up next, we have Master Hero Koga. So this is the light guy, and he has 2500 attack, 1800 defense, and is a level 8 Masked Hero. I actually made a mistake. Contrast Hero Chaos is a level 9 right there. This is 8. This must be special summoned by mass change, cannot be special summoned by other ways, and it gains 500 attack for each monster your opponent controls. Once per turn, during either player's turn, you can banish a hero from your graveyard to target a face-up monster on the field, and that target loses attack equal to your banished monster. So, weakens your opponent's attack, gains its own attack points, it makes it a pretty nice beater, and especially considering the fact that we do have tons of light hero support in the form of Neos Alias, and really, that's mainly it, but people like Neos Alias. This thing is a pretty interesting card to support old hero beat decks. Next, we have Divine Wind. This is a 2700 attack level 8 masked hero of the Wind attribute. It must be special summoned by Mask Change, obviously, and it cannot be destroyed by battle, which, with 2700 attack, it's almost never going to die, but I guess that prevents, Apocryphort towers from killing it. But, yeah, this thing says your opponent can only attack with one monster during each battle phase, so it is a one-sided Dark Door effect. Very nice there. And then, its other ability is every time it kills an opponent's monster and sends it to the grave, you can draw one card. So it replaces its own cost for summoning, I guess, and then it goes ahead and destroys your opponent's monsters to net you advantage. So, very nice card right there. Just hard to summon, because it is Wind, and we have our Stratos band. We have Shadow Mist. So this is actually for the main deck, a level 4 monster with 1000 attack, 1500 defense. If it's special summoned in any way, you can add a change quick play spell card, which we'll get to, from your deck to your hand. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add a hero monster from your deck to your hand, except Elemental Hero Shadow Mist. So that's kind of like a Strato Search effect, albeit only when it hits the grave, but it does work when it hits the grave from being an Xyz material as well, which is pretty interesting. And then it says you can only use one Elemental Hero Shadow Mist effect per turn, and only once that turn. So you get two abilities right here. A very versatile card that ends up giving heroes a lot of new search power and just overall a little more consistency that we lost from Stratos. So very cool. Then we have Master Hero Darklaw, the card to abuse Shadow Mist with. It is summoned by using Mask Change on a Dark monster, is level 6, and has 2400 attack points. Darklaw reads that your opponent has a one-side Macrocosmos on their field, and anything that would be sent to the graveyard, even from the pendulum, pendulum monsters, will be banished. So, works very nicely against the top 3 decks at the moment, because Burning Abyss and Shadal's don't get any advantage because they don't get any of their guys to hit the grave to trigger their replacement abilities and such. And then we have, of course, Qliphorts, even the pendulum monsters that are normally immune to destruction because they just go back to the extra deck to be resummoned. No, they'll just be banished and they won't get them back. So this thing is basically what's getting heroes hyped up right now. It's essentially the reason why a lot of people think, heroes have become the budget deck, the savior that's allowing people to compete against the big 3, because all of a sudden it works very nicely against the top decks in tournaments. So definitely consider working him, especially considering Mask Change 2nd, Mask Change 2. This is definitely something my brother's looking into. I don't know if I mentioned, I don't know how much I've mentioned about his deck, but basically he plays a dark-themed deck of his own creation, and this thing gives it new life because he can now abuse Darklaw in it. So it's a quick play spell, so you can search it with the Shadow Mist, and it reads, you discard one card to target a face-up monster you control that has a level, so no Xyz monsters. Send it to the graveyard, and after that, if it left the field by this effect successfully, you can summon from your extra deck a masked hero with the same attribute, but it must be a higher level than the monster that this card sent to the graveyard. The monster you special summon is treated as being special summoned by Mask Change, and even if it's face down, it still works. You use the original levels and the attribute, which is great. And then it says you can only activate one Mask Change 2nd per turn. So this thing basically means if you're playing a dark deck, you can get Darklaw as long as your monster's not level 6. So you have Tour Guide from the Underworld, turn it into a Darklaw. You're playing a water deck, like Mermails, and all of a sudden you can turn them into Master Hero Acid, which wasn't included in this deck, unfortunately, but, that play exists. If you're playing a light deck, just turn any of your monsters, like turn a Lumina that's already used their ability a bunch of times into a Koga if you really wanted, you could. Harpy decks can play Divine Wind for free draw power and destruction immunity. We have Master Hero Vapor for waters as well to protect from destruction. I forget what Goka does, but it's for fires, and all these new options come out for these decks because now they can just tech Mask Change 2nd, side it maybe, and they're able to access these hero monsters for their own extra deck. Very cool card. Then we have Form Change. This is another quick play spell. Change, so you can search it with the Shadow Mist. And its ability is, you target a hero fusion you control, return it to the extra deck, and essentially swap it for another masked hero that has the same level, but a different name. It's treated as being special summoned by Mask Change. So notice all these masked heroes are like these two right here. We have Koga and Divine Wind. We also have, for instance, the Acid. They're all level 8, so you can swap between them. Well, yeah, you could swap between them because they have the same level, and that's essentially the idea. You're changing from one attribute form into another attribute form. You see Dark Law being torn apart here, probably turning into something else. Can't really tell in this picture, but could be any of the other guys. And then Dark Law, you can actually form change into a Master of Vapor, or vice versa, because Vapor is another water guy who is level 6, so that's why those exist there. Interesting card, especially because if you think about it, these two cards here are quick play changes, so you can search them with Shadow Mist, so you can tech 1 or 2, and you still will have access to it if you have your Shadow Mist, which you can search with 3 E-Emergency Call and 3 Reinforcement of the Army. So interesting cards that you can try out in your hero decks. And finally, we have Mask Change, or Mask Charge is the new card here. It's a normal spell that reads, you target a hero and quick play spell from your graveyard, or change quick play spell in your graveyard, add them to your hand. So essentially what you do is, if you have, these guys in your grave, or just Mass Change, you've basically set yourself up to bring out another Dark Law. So some people like playing this, others don't, but I think it's definitely interesting to play for fun. It definitely has its uses. Not sure so much at the moment about its use in competitive play. There might be better options, I'm not exactly sure, but it definitely is an option. So quick overview and review analysis of whether or not this deck is worth investing in. I'm personally leaning towards yes, and the reason for that is, first, we already have 5 foil things here, plus 3 new cards. All these are new, and just because of the fact that they have never been released before, people are interested in picking up either these decks or the singles so that they can add them to their already existent hero collection. So that makes it, fairly easy to say, Dark Law about 3-ish right now, $3, Shadow Mist about 2. Each of these could easily go for 1 or 2 just because they are new. Same with these commons, so or you could put them together and trade them for $1 or 2 worth. So there's already this much. Then we have some decent commons here. This is stuff that basically would fit easily in a dollar binder, sometimes even more. But we have Alias Alias and Bubble Man are popular in Bubble Beat and Hero Light Gemini heroes from back in the day. So they're nice. Grand Mole is a very interesting tech card a lot of people like using, even outside of heroes, so very good reprint here. Honest just went to 2. Card Trooper, good in a lot of decks to set up. Summoner Monk, this is great in heroes. It's great in a lot of other level 4 base decks as well, so very nice that it got another reprint. Mask Change, this is basically, I would say, you're heading into the territory of, it's kind of like a new card in that it was only printed in Generation Force and the Astral Pack, so it's something that's not widely available until this deck's released, so you could probably trade that off to someone. Someone's at least going to be interested in it. Miracle Fusion, another reprint of this since I believe Raw Yellow Mega Pack was the last reprint, and that's been a while. Hero Lives, this thing's definitely going to be one of the top picks for a lot of people because this is something that was only an ultra rare and I believe Generation Force. It was also an ultimate, but basically that's just harder to get. So, finally getting a common version of this will hopefully lower its value just a little bit, enough for people to pick it up. I think it's a couple bucks right now, so that's very welcomed. We have E-Call and Rhoda that a lot of people are playing at 3. Some people are doing mixes of 2 and 3, but essentially these are nice searchers for this strategy and for the Rhoda for other warrior strategies as well. So we'll kind of lump those together. We have Pot of Duality. This thing is, always a nice reprint. Usually what happens is if Duality is printed in a structure deck, it ends up going, it starts at $1 or 2, climbs steadily up to 3, 4, maybe 5, especially when the current version of Duality, basically the last printing of Duality in a common form, has gone out of print. Duality goes up again. So this thing's, pretty good reprint to have. We have Hero Blast to go with our Light Gemini heroes, and we have, just some staple cards that some people will be interested in. So overall, those are my main picks from this deck. I think that, things people would be interested in. And then, of course, there are just some nostalgic cards from the show. Like, you could try trading this to someone. You could give it to a friend, just as a gift, and they'd love it. Some of the things, obviously, like, I think if I choose cards that are absolute trash in this deck, it's this. We have Parallel Infusion most people don't use, but I guess it's not too bad. These are more collector's purpose, but they're still a step above the Homunculus, which is kind of just its own. Oh, I'm kind of synergetic. Not really. We have Battleguard Howling is actually a pretty decent card. It's just that I don't think it's worth the reprint since it was printed as a common. But essentially it says when a warrior you control is targeted for an attack or by an opponent's monster effect, you get to target one monster your opponent controls and inflict damage to your opponent with the original attack or equal to the original attack of their monster. And if you do, return it to the hand. So this is interesting in that, like, you set it against Shaddoll's, your opponent attacks you with an El Shaddall Wind can't be destroyed, well, just bounce it back to the hand. They don't get any free card either. So definitely a cool tech choice for Warriors. Again, it's just not worth the reprint at the moment, so we'll put it here. Great Tornado someone might want just because it hasn't been reprinted since it was first released in the GX Legendary Collection. So that's my quick analysis of this deck. Overall, I think it is pretty worth it. So that's pretty much it for this video, bringing this back in here. I do have the rest of these 7 for sale right now. However, these 3 are already sold to someone, so I have 4 left. If you're interested in any of these, again, if you want the sealed box because of how much it costs to ship and the fact that I only have UPS, not the post office, on campus here, it's going to be slightly expensive to ship it, but if you are wanting, we can discuss options for you, and if you give me like your zip code and stuff, I can give you a little bit better of an estimate. But again, these are pretty hefty in weight, so what I would recommend is get the deck, because essentially if you add all these cards together and plastic wrap them as they originally are, this is fairly small, it's compact, it's very light, very easy to send in a bubble mailer for you guys. So what I'm willing to do is I will include a deck and up to 1 paper mat for each deck you purchase. And basically it'd be 1 would be for $10, 2 would be $19, so you save $1, and 3 would be for $27, so you save $3, and all of that is including shipping. However, this deal is only available for most of a week. It's basically until next Wednesday at midnight on Eastern Time. I will be done taking orders, and basically I'm going to go to the post office the very next day with a friend. So, not much time if you want this for a decent price delivered to your door, basically for retail price, or a slight discount if you get some extras, then do contact me with that. I will be willing to sell up to 4 extras of these right now. So yeah, please contact me if you're interested, and I'll be glad to work something out with you guys. And that's all I have for now. Remember to like this video if you did. Share it with your friends so that they can get in on this action. It might be a good introduction for the deck for them. And as always, hope you guys enjoyed. This is JDGaming, and I'll see you guys next time. Oh yeah, and it looks like they included this avian just so we could summon this guy, because our Stratos is banned.